You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to an episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, host, back with another episode. Excited to share this episode with you today, but before we do, huge shout out to our sponsors. The Oklahoma Hall of Fame have been sharing Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com. And for daily updates, go to oklahomahof on Instagram and give them a follow. Our other sponsor today is the Chickasaw Nation. Now, the Chickasaw Nation have sponsored pretty much everything in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma. And it's an honor to have their name and their brand supporting this podcast. A huge shout out to Governor Anatobi for supporting this podcast. It really means a lot. This episode is brought to you by the Doghouse OKC. Recently, I have been in need of some doggy daycare for my two pups, and the Doghouse have come in clutch. The team over there are incredible. They've taken care of my two golden doodles, and so it's been an honor to partner with them on the podcast and share the love. Adding to that is the Doghouse, and so if you're in need of doggy daycare in the day or boarding overnight, they do grooming and other cool things too, but I've had a fantastic experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to share this with you too. So go to thedoghouseokc.com and follow them on Instagram at thedoghouseokc, and hopefully our pups will run into each other. What's up, guys? Welcome back to an episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, host, back with another episode. We are at Thunderbird Drone Festival with the guys from Thunderbird Drone Festival, minus Chris, which we'll dive into in a little bit why he's not here. But Chris, if you're listening, you're missed. Only a little bit. Kidding, I promise, I'm kidding. But no, boys, thanks for having me back. Excited to dive into, the future of what this festival looks like with your new partnership with OAIR and everybody at Oklahoma State, Tulsa, who have been, seems like they've been in the drone space for a very long time, 25 plus years. But yeah, man, excited to dive into all the stories of you guys. Before we do, though, I'll have you each individually introduce yourselves and give a little bit of backstory as to why drones are a huge part of your lives.
Yeah, I'll start. So my name's Nathan Holiday. I co-founded Thunderbird Drone Festival with my brother-in-law, Chris Castor, in 2021 in the beautiful metropolitan town of Woodward, Oklahoma. Bustling rural community there. And drones. I started out on the audio side, went to college at Southern Nazarene, graduated with a degree in music business, got into audio, and nobody told me there's actually a great opportunity in the video side. And so got into that later in my career, and I saw my brother-in-law just doing a lot of amazing things with drones, and running the drone film festival circuit in, the mid 2000s, like 2016, 2017, those were just kind of starting to blossom. Getting into video, I knew that getting a Part 107 license, getting a drone, if you're starting a video company, you're kind of missing out if you don't do that and if you don't do it right, because there's a lot of opportunity out there. Still, I think it's way more common to see cinematographers, filmmakers, freelancers from uber professional movie side all the way down to, just your average content creators. It's way more normal to see drone pilots in 2025 than it was 10 years ago. It's becoming more accessible. But so I use drones all the time.
Yep. My name is Jacob Ashlock. I got my start with drones after I became a photographer. I moved to Colorado and was a ski photographer in Aspen, and I loved it, but camera phones had just become a thing, and I was making no money because everyone would get to the top of the mountain and use their cameras instead of hire me to take their photos. So I really loved the creative side of photography and that kind of new hobby that I had found, but I wanted to find a way to make more money with it instead of just do portraits or weddings or anything like that. So Chris, Nathan's brother-in-law, actually had created a film that we talk about all the time. It's called Cardboard Cadet. And I watched it and immediately texted him and was like, how did you do this? And he was like, I got a drone. They're super easy to fly. And I was like, what kind. He helped me set it up, and that was that kind of the start of my drone career, I guess you could say. Back then, it was in 2017. There was no competition. It was so easy to get drone jobs, and I would get hired for all kinds of stuff, from windmill inspections to realtors to just farmers wanting me to fly over their land and see what it looked like from a bird's eye view. So it was great. After COVID, or once COVID hit, I lost a ton of work just because of how that all went. So yeah, it's picking up back now, and I love it. And then Nathan and Chris brought me on year 3 to kind of help with stuff. I was at year 2, and I saw how they were running around, like you had mentioned last year. We were all running around like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nathan looked stressed out of his mind, and I was like, hey guys, if you need help, let me know. So the next year they brought me on, and yeah, it's been fun ever since.
Yeah.
Nice. My name is Blake Bennett, and I knew Chris because I'd worked at a local film studio with him, editing and different things like that. And he started the Thunderbird Drone Film Festival and wanted to bring me out just to help video and stuff. And, you know, when he first told me about the Thunderbird Drone Film Festival, I mean, I'd seen Cardboard Cadet and seen the stuff that he had done. But I didn't really know what it meant or what that looked like. And I showed up, and man, it was crazy. Like the turnout that they had, the videos and stuff that they had. I was like, man, this is pretty sick. And I helped for a couple of years. I wasn't able to be here the
That
last
year
2
was
years.
intense. There was a ton of people that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was way bigger than I thought in Woodward.
Yeah.
Love Woodward.
Yeah.
Anybody watching for Woodward, love Woodward.
Yeah.
But
But it's out of
but
the
it's
way.
out,
It is out of the way.
there,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so I was like, just excited to be hanging out with Chris, to be honest. And then I wasn't able to do the last couple of years. I don't really have, honestly, a background in drones. I had bought a drone when they first started coming out and realized this is not my niche. I am not a drone pilot. But I work more in the film industry here in Oklahoma. And so I know a lot of the local filmmakers and stuff. And so this previous year, Nathan and Jacob and Chris, when he was transitioning out of it, brought me on to try to help bring more of that side of things to the festival, because we have a lot of really great tech people and the STEM side of the drones and stuff, which is awesome. But we're trying to get more local filmmakers, because I think people don't realize how cinematic and like story driven some of these drone videos can be. So we're trying to figure out how to get that more out there, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I think people think of drones as like up in the sky, bird's eye view, but they don't think of it like flying through a building or like the lower kind of 3-4 foot off the ground shots and tracking vehicles or people or kids on bikes or whatever it is. And, you guys know it from the film side, but yeah, it's the use of a drone is far and wide.
Oh,
And there's a lot
yeah.
more like story opportunities with that than I think people realize, because they think of it as like the landscape or the architecture type stuff. And I think with, we talk about Cardboard Cadet a lot, but that's a good example of there can be a creative story driven style video there that I think people aren't really tapping into as much.
Yeah. So for people listening, give us a little bit of an update on just kind of how long the festival's been going for, and then now it's transitioned into being this huge partner with, and transitioning into ownership of Aware and how that's looked.
Yeah, so for those of you who are listening who have no idea what Thunderbird Drone Festival is, Thunderbird Drone Festival is Oklahoma's first and only drone film festival and drone technology event. It's the official tagline. And so it started in 2021 in Woodward. This is year 5. And so this year is different because we have now handed the keys, so to speak, to Aware, which is the Oklahoma Aeronautics Institute for Research and Education. They are a part of OSU. And so they are the aeronautics department or the research arm, whatever you want to call it. And so Aware sets the standard for aeronautics research, for cutting edge development in all things drone, UAV, UAS development, as well as like helping push policy forward in that space, counter UAS technology. I know we see a lot of different things, especially in the war in Ukraine and Russia right now, how drones and fiber optic drones are being used there. We were talking with a guy yesterday about how crazy fast the technology is advancing for that. Like, get this. This is mind-blowing.
This is mind-blowing.
This is insane, okay? And it just speaks to human ingenuity. So technology is advancing so fast in the drone world, okay? So manufacturers that are manufacturing drone, command units, whatever you want to call it, just kind of being kind of generalistic, right? So they are literally shipping these units to Ukraine, to Russia, and the firmware is advancing so rapidly that they put a literal cookie in the box, like a Oreo, whatever, chocolate chip
cookie.
macadamia nut. What's your favorite kind of cookie?
Yeah.
Snickerdoodle.
Makes sense.
Oatmeal raisin.
Yeah. Oatmeal raisin. Okay.
Yes.
They put an oatmeal raisin cookie in the box. Okay. If that cookie is stale when they open it, the firmware's out of date.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that insane?
Wild.
That is how fast this technology is progressing.
Yeah.
So, which, not going to go on the tangent of like the reverse bell curve of like decentralization of technology or whatever. Like we've seen it with, music and Spotify or streaming and Netflix and how accessible it gets. Okay, well, if you take that to technology, I mean, even with AI, that bell curve is now reversing on itself and it's just compoundingly increasing more and more. And so you take that to the drone world, that's also the case.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all kind of like dominoes falling together. But in terms of our partnership with Aware, we, when we built Thunderbird Drone Festival, we kind of just saw it as this connector between a lot of different drone spheres. So STEM education, drones in industry, military, of course, drones in filmmaking, which is all of our background. So we can talk for days and days about that. Drones in agriculture, using drones to inspect things, oil field, like energy sector. There's expanding uses for drones because it does help decentralize some things. It helps you work faster, work more efficiently. If you're inspecting a power line, you can set a waypoint on a drone and go back months and months and months and months and months and months later and look at the same exact point on it. So it makes you more accurate. A lot of benefits of technology, and we don't really have to oversell that because it's understood and it's more publicly acceptable now. Whereas 10 years ago, people are like, are you even sure that this could stay in the air on its own? But Thunderbird Drone Festival is like the center point for all of this. So when we started it, it's still kind of running on a 2-day schedule. It's a film festival and a VIP after party on Friday nights. And since year 2, we've done drone light shows with Dynamic Skies. Brad Snelling, he's an absolute unit. He's the goat of drone light shows.
He is.
I think he's incredible. So we've done that the last 4 years. And then we have Drone Day, which we call now Drone STEM Day on Saturdays. And so that's drones in education. They have breakout sessions. They have panels. This year we have Pittsco, and they're doing a breakout session, building some different drones. We've got Dorinda with NASA doing some STEM activities as well. You got Eric with drone soccer. Dude, we got drone soccer. It's incredible. And dude, if you haven't flown it, you got to go try.
The goals out there.
So
right?
fun.
So
It's like, it's wild. So drone soccer is, I mean, we could talk about all this stuff, but so basically we've got all these different things. We've got booths, things of that nature. But year 5, actually last year we were just in discussions just internally of like, hey, we started this as like a side kind of a deal. This is not our full-time deal, but as you know, and as maybe other entrepreneurs might realize, when you start a side deal, it kind of becomes your full-time deal. And we just, the 3 of us, Jacob and Chris and I, the last, few years have just been maxed on our resources, on our time, on our just physical ability to push the drone festival kind of forward.
Where we would like to see it.
Yeah, where we'd like to see it go, exactly. And so we were confident that we could do similar style of events every year, but we just aren't ever satisfied. And so we just started asking the question like, if there's an organization that we think could take this to different heights, pun intended. We're confident that OAir would be that.
Yeah.
Well, in
So-
OAir, they came in last year
Uh-huh.
and kind of fell in love with everything. And we kind of fell in love with them too. Like their Dr. Jacob and Natalie are, and at that time, I guess Victoria and Natalie as well. They were great to work with, very knowledgeable. They came to Woodward and saw it, and then
Just great supporters.
yeah, great supporters. And we couldn't be happier that they're kind of taking over. Just we wanted to make sure when me and him and Chris talked about this internally after last year, we were like, we really want this to go to the right hands. Like we want it to be a part of an entity that is going to continue kind of the vision we had for it. And I think that I hope that they do that. So yeah, they've been great to work with though.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we kind of talked a little bit off camera about this, but like in terms of the aeronautics industry in the state of Oklahoma, you know, it's the second largest industry. It's $44+ billion a year. But a lot of these entities work with each other a lot. There's a lot of cross pollination, but each one kind of has its strengths, if you will. And so we're always just discussing like, well, Thunderbird is kind of the, you know, center point for all of these things. And so it's public facing. It's the only public facing drone event in the state. So in terms of
as far as we know, maybe the country.
potentially,
There might be another one out there, but I've not heard of
potentially,
it.
but in terms of it being like a film festival, STEM day, industry
Right.
day, kind of trying to be all encompassing
Yeah.
and not just niche down into commercial or anything like that. It's really unique. And so for people who are trying to like really talk to the general public about public acceptance of drones, right? And how it's a felony if you try to shoot one down. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's actually not good. We see reports all the time.
It's happened to me
stupid stuff
multiple
like
times,
that.
Yeah.
especially around like Enid.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Oh, Enid,
every
really?
time I
Dang,
go to
calling out
Enid,
Enid.
I am, man. The only 2 times I've gotten someone try to shoot at my drone was in Enid.
Wow. I
They
mean,
actually
I've
got
had it happen.
No, they didn't
before,
hit it.
but It was actually in Woodward, but
Yeah.
yeah. So in terms of the handoff, we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
And it's also different this year because Chris is not here, and so
It's been a lot of learning for me and him, taking his spot.
yeah. I mean, just in terms of
These
like
hard shoes to fill.
the institutional knowledge that kind of we all just possess, I think we tried to do a good job the last few years of just really delegating responsibilities and leaning into each other's strengths and things like that. But Chris definitely carried so much weight with this in terms of the communication with people. He's such a great lover of people.
He's so gracious,
and-
24/7,
Yeah. And so just kind of trying to carry that mantle well.
which
but-
we don't do as good of a job as he does.
Nobody does,
sometimes.
man. Nobody does.
Sometimes me and Nathan
he's
get a little
amazing.
more squirrely than
But,
Chris ever did.
Yeah, he's the never stressed out guy, and I'm the always stressed out guy.
Yeah.
So, but no, so his work with the skit guys is kind of just increasing, and they're actually expanding into some of pretty amazing territories using AI to generate some content. And so they actually just released their first completely AI generated Christmas series, which is insane.
It's amazing.
Like multiple characters in the same scene.
He did so
And there's
good.
a series
man.
of it. So like I don't think this has like really ever been done. So he's kind of getting just to kind of be really heavily involved with a lot of that, and just due to that nature, and like we're all creators. He just has a lot of his own things that he wants to pour into, and so
He's
this
doing
just-
children's books now. I mean,
oh my
he's got
gosh, yeah,
and they're
is
awesome.
awesome.
Doing something.
Yeah, he's always doing something that you're like, how did you do this?
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
are you just
So-
this talented?
So that's the main reason why he's not here with us today, just sitting down at this table talking to you. Is just that there's those other endeavors, and so, but he was instrumental in the handoff.
Yeah.
And so still has left his mark on this, and
we're still
think-
even using some of his gear.
oh yeah, still using his graphics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's going on, and this is in Tulsa the second year this year. We love Tulsa. From Mayor Bynum, there was a big initiative for a lot of drone technology, and now that he's out and the new mayor's in, that's the shift. The focus has shifted a little bit, maybe from the city of Tulsa, but however, from the state as a whole,
Yeah.
drones are a big deal. There's a lot of organizations that are trying to get drone companies to base here. And one of OAIR's main ladies that we've worked with, Natalie Knowles, she's head of workforce development. And so that's a big deal. There's a lot of drone jobs available. There's a lot of drone engineering jobs available.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really cool opportunity for those who are just getting into space.
Yeah.
And like I said, with the whole cookie thing, tech is advancing so fast that they literally can't keep up. And so when there's gaps like that, that means there's opportunity.
Then that's not even really just true in the military side. Like if you get a new drone, 3 months later, V4 comes out with all these new tricks and specs, and it's kind of frustrating. It's almost like phones. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you get a new phone, and then 8 months later, the new one comes out.
But good for us, we get an update.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. And that's kind of the same way with drones.
Yeah.
Now I have to update all the firmware and do all this stuff. So it can be daunting at times, but at the same time, it's something you just got to get used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as, so Friday obviously is the film festival aspect. Blake's talk a little bit about kind of just like, obviously Oklahoma has a huge film industry as well. So, you know, and I know the beauty of this festival is film, STEM, and all, you know, all the emergency services, all the great things that drones can do. But from your perspective on a film side, what has that been like? What's the film festival kind of, and how do you fit in there?
Yeah, I mean, the films that we got this year, I mean, every year, it's so cool to see like the creative new, you'd think after a certain point, you'd see all there is to see of drone films. And it's just always somebody comes up with something that was really cool. Like our winner this year,
Colton Scott
Smith did this really cool drive or fly through. And it was just like, what was it, like how many minutes was it?
It was a few minutes.
Yeah, it was a few minutes of him going through this huge facility and telling the story of this facility through the drone, just flying around and all these intricate pieces and stuff like that. And it's just, there is always so much creativity there that I would like to see a little bit more from Oklahoma, to be honest. We only had
a handful of Oklahoma.
Yeah. And so I think getting that out there and really bringing that side of the community in is essential to the balance of all the cool technology and the military uses and all of the, you know, every use for the drone. And so I think we're trying to move forward with that. And it's just, Oklahoma has blown up recently. I had the opportunity to work on Twisters a couple years ago, and they utilized drones a lot in that movie, both for filming and also in the filming, showing off how they're used in weather and weather radar and tracking storms.
A couple of our pilots actually got to fly on that.
Yeah.
So we were able to connect them with crew and stuff.
Yeah. Some insane shots of tornadoes and stuff like that. It's incredible. And so there's all sorts of opportunities like that. And I think too, you know, with the drones, like we're saying, the technology of the drones advancing so quickly means you can get an older model for pretty cheap and it still is great. Like
That's right.
Yeah.
Still shoot 4K.
Yeah. And the majority of people on social media and stuff aren't going to know which.
They're watching on their phone. They don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and even if you try to upload like an 8K to Instagram, it's not
it's going to compress.
Watching it.
So, you know, the barrier to entry is really not as high as a lot of people think, I think sometimes, because they just look at, you know, the new price tags and stuff, and you can get one used on eBay from somebody that's just, you know, been doing it for a while. So they're just trying to get upgraded gear. And so I think getting new filmmakers and stuff in on that, and then also the seasoned filmmakers to come in and kind of like help pass the torch on, so to speak, with that is something that would be really awesome for future Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Well, and to piggyback off that, I mean, that's why we're so big on having like a student category and first time filmmaker category and having all the events on Saturday to get people to try to get into drones and be creative with them. So, yeah, we're trying every year to get more and more people involved, whether it's a 15-year-old or a 50-year-old. One of my favorite things about this festival is you can go to the drone corral and watch a 7-year-old practicing flying a drone and a 55-year-old.
Yeah.
And they both have smiles on their faces, and they're both jacked about it. So
Who doesn't love RC cars?
Right?
I know,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
the
I
most fun.
It brings out the kid in you.
It does.
Yeah.
Especially when you're allowed to wreck it.
Right. Rebuild it, do all the things, right? Yeah. What is with the handoff and with kind of, OAR really kind of giving you guys the opportunity to free up yourselves and chase, the things that you do as a day job and put all the time that you have, into your families and your business. This is the right time to do this, and finding a perfect partner in OAR. What is your roles going forward?
Yeah, so right now, this year, we've kind of just focused on transferring the institutional knowledge that we do have about Thunderbird to them. So everything from like how our branding looks, how we want branding with OSU to look going forward, because they have their own standards as well that we kind of have to adhere to. And, just kind of trying to make sure that all blends well. And then, too, just all the mechanics. There's a lot under the hood of this festival.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's so much, like every year that when we open this thing back up, we're like, oh yeah, we did this last year. Did that work well? Yes or no? And so, in terms of our roles, personally, what that looks like going forward is just, glorified consultants.
Yeah.
But, officially, but really it's more than that. We're way too big on relationships to be impersonal with that. And so, for me, what that looked like this year was still doing a lot of what we've done, just having a little bit more hands on deck.
Yeah.
And so, just trying to really kind of tune up some of those connections and then lean on them for theirs and their resources as well. And I think, there's a lot of ways this festival could grow, seemingly endless possibilities. But really what it comes down to is just time and some budget and sponsorships.
Yeah.
Let me talk to the sponsors real quick. We will gladly accept any form of donations. Please don't include cookies in the box, though.
We've got plenty of those.
They will never go stale in terms of like money being sent in. Joking aside, legitimately, we are a sponsor-backed festival. And so that really just kind of goes to, making this thing go. Putting on an event like this is not free. Workers have to be paid. Venues have to be paid. Even like, we're renting this facility today. Like they still have to rent
even
that.
though they own it.
Like it's still part of the university, but just things just cost money. And then two, we want to grow this. We actually had an opportunity this year. I'm not going to name who it was, but to expand into doing some cinematic FPV drone master classes.
Oh, wow.
And so if you're an FPV pilot in the state of Oklahoma or Texas or Arkansas or Kansas or New Mexico, wherever, if you're near Oklahoma, there's some really cool stuff that we're trying to do and trying to get some hands-on experience from industry professionals that are flying for all the shows that you watch.
Yeah.
And so we really want to expand into that as well from the film side. And then from the industry side, there's a slew of ideas that we have to grow this. But what it takes is people showing up. And I think an easy buy-in would be from educators. So educators, I know Paula Ketty, who's over like the AOPA in the state of Oklahoma. She's here today. She's actually talking on a panel right now while we speak, but would love it if I just talked about that for a second of like, hey, all of you AOPA teachers that are trying to do drone programs, career techs that have drone programs, you've got to get here. You're missing out. You're missing out on not only just great opportunities for your students, but you're also missing out on talking to the people that make things happen in education for drones.
That can fulfill your grants and everything else that you need.
Know somebody you need to talk to because this company over here is wanting to spend money. They want and actually have to give this money to something because they have a portion for it. You just don't know. And so it's like if you're a teacher, you're trying to grow your drones in your classroom, which is not cheap. How do you get into it?
They have a booth here. These people have a booth here.
I tell you what it costs.
Your connections are here.
This year it cost you like $20 and a tank of gas to get here. And to come to the festival and to talk to some people. And so that, I've challenged some people yesterday on the live stream, like, hey, if you're under 18 if you're in the state of Oklahoma and you didn't submit, what are you doing? You've got to do this. This is a great opportunity. So I'm going to call teachers out. Teachers, if you're thinking about drones in the classroom, if you know somebody is doing that, we can connect you with the right people. And so I would say 2026, you got to get here. It's probably going to be in Tulsa.
Yeah.
But
it's a great spot for it.
We have, potential aspirations to bring it to Oklahoma City, maybe in future years. This is Oklahoma's first and only film festival and drone technology event. We'd love to see it in Oklahoma City, but for right now, I think we're going to be in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And so y'all come out.
And the reason we even moved it to Tulsa instead of Oklahoma City is because, like Nathan mentioned, the Mayor Bynum, his initiative was to make Tulsa the drone capital of the world.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of made sense to bring a drone film festival here. But yeah, it's
which fun fact too. October 4th in Tulsa is Thunderbird Drone Festival Day.
Drone Day, yeah.
It's exciting. So we have an unofficial penciled over.
Yeah. We've got a proclamation. Okay? The only drone festival in the state of Oklahoma that has a proclamation.
Yep, that's true.
100%. That's actually accurate.
Well, and the exciting thing is, it's only been 5 years, right? This is the 5th year of this festival. The future looks really good. The industry is only going forward, and it's not just film or emergency services or education. Like, there's so many things where drones fit in.
Oh, for sure.
It's endless.
If you had told me drone soccer was a thing 3 years ago, I would have been like, what? Why was that not a thing when I was in high school?
It is endless.
Yeah.
It's like the sky's the limit.
Literally, sky's the limit.
We literally said, like, the one thing we said to Blake when we went in there, like, hey, Blake,
don't say this. I know you're new here, but don't say this.
Freaking new guy coming.
Oh,
is
awesome.
it wrong?
No,
it's
we
fun.
love
You're
Blake.
not wrong. Just because you're not wrong doesn't mean you got to say it.
Right. It has to fit that in. No, it's awesome to be it's awesome to be here. I appreciate you guys bringing me back for my second time. I'm excited. I want to come back every year and do this because it's even just talking to Dr. Jamie about how he's progressed in a year and the things that they've been working on, and talking to Natalie and how her life evolves around it. I mean, it's endless. It's gonna, we're just talking like the emergency side or the tornado side that we all know about. Yeah, Jordan Hall was here last year. He's flying amazing drone shots of tornadoes. But then, listening to him share about, it's cool to see, and capture these incredible images. But right after, they're helping search and rescue, and helping people with it too.
They're going out with water bottles.
The whole thing. And he's flying the drone to find people and, and all the things. So there's so many elements to it. It's not going anywhere. It's only going forward. And the kids growing up now, like, what do you want to do? Well, I want to fly. Well, let's go fly drones.
So. Well, and that's kind of I wanted to be an Air Force pilot, but I was colorblind, so I found a drone.
Exactly. And there's nothing that says you can't fly.
Exactly.
Right? As an Air Force
I
pilot
can be
with
as
a drone.
colorblind as I want to fly a drone.
Are we missing anything? Is there anything else?
Man, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So thunderbirdDroneFestival.com is the URL right now. And so we're really pumped for this partnership going forward. And so there's only great things that are going to be coming. If you guys have questions about it, I know this year you missed out if you weren't here, but teachers, you can email us. You can submit to the contact form on the website. You can call up at OAir, talk to Natalie, talk to Casey, anybody like that, and see what they can do to get you connected. I would start doing that now. So that's what I would say. Go to ThunderbirdDroneFestival.com to learn more.
Cool.
And
then the Instagram's up there too.
Thunderbird Drone Festival at Thunderbird Drone Festival. Facebook us. We're on YouTube. All those things.
Yeah. All right, boys. Appreciate you. I'll put the link to Chris's amazing video too as well.
Please
referencing in the description because it is fantastic and you have to see it because it's where it all started. So thanks for coming on the podcast. Thanks for having me back. People listening, go to Thunderbird Drone Festival and we will catch you next episode. Cheers.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
Hope you guys enjoyed that great episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, sharing Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at OklahomaHOF. Our other sponsor, the Chickasaw Nation, amazing sponsor. They do amazing things for the state, and they're always sponsoring something in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and without their support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. This episode is brought to you by the Doghouse OKC. Recently, I have been in need of some doggy daycare for my 2 pups, and the Doghouse have come in clutch. The team over there are incredible. They've taken care of my 2 golden doodles, and so it's been an honor to partner with them on the podcast and share the love. And adding to that is the Doghouse. And so if you're in need of doggy daycare in the day or boarding overnight, they do grooming and other cool things too, but I've had a fantastic experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to share this with you too. So go to thedogHouseOKC.com and follow them on Instagram at thedogHouseOKC, and hopefully our pups will run into each other.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.